Welcome back. Let's try this again. I was having a little issue a little while back. I was trying to program this Arduino Mini, Pro Mini. Now, this guy does not have a USB to serial chip on board. So I needed to use a serial to TTL chip. So at first when I plugged this in and I hooked it up, and I'm just going to show you 10, 20, 20. Okay. This thing has a VCC, a ground, a transmit, and a receive. Now, I thought, okay, that should be enough to do everything. And let me just put the focus back. I'll be manually focus changing here. And I happen to have this prolific serial to USB, like so. Now, I've used this before with my Palm Pilot, never had any issue, and always just worked. So I plugged it in, and then I plugged this guy in, and no go. I couldn't get this to power up. So I had to switch over to this little breadboard with a power supply capability on it. So when I plug it in, now it works, and the blink program is busy blinking away. Now at first I thought this wasn't working right. So I hooked up the motherboard serial port. This is on a cable. And I hooked everything up like so. Doink. And I went to my Visual Studio Code. And let me just turn it on here. Doink. And I went in. And at first I thought it was the programmer here. See? This guy right here, this stuff. But it turns out that when you're doing this with this method, the programmer doesn't count. It's useless. It only counts if that board actually has that ability on it. And since this doesn't have this ability, it doesn't have that USB to serial conversion job, like here, and this chip right back here, you don't need it. It ignores it. So I said, okay, fine. I hooked it all up, and I went to program it, and you can see right here, nothing. This is the response you get back from Averdue saying, I've read it, I can't program this thing. I filled it with baud rate, blah blah blah, CT2IS0 for this COM port, but nothing occurred. I even flipped around these leads here, and nothing worked. So at the current state of this, and from reading, and the funny thing is everyone says, oh yeah, just give up on these and go get a USB to serial thing. Basically, it's this plus this chip on its own board with the output pins, and you hook it up. You can also do this with, and I haven't tried this yet, is use like an Uno and use the Uno as an ISP programmer to program one of these. So that will be my next step in trying to do this. Now, at first I thought the serial port wasn't working, both of them. So I put this aside, like so. And I dug out, yes, children, a classic modem. So let's put the modem power. Oops, not that one. We need the right power for this. This one. And we will plug this in, like so. Oops, and my visual code is still in the way here. Just a sec. So here's the modem. Serial cable to the port, power. Turn it on. Lights are on. So if I go to my console here, yeah, that one. There we go. And you can't really see it, but the RDSD lights are blinking every time I do an AT command. Just using Minicom, which is a standard serial talking program that exists for a long, long time. So I know the serial port work, and I hooked this up to the prolific also, this one. Let me turn off the console, this guy, and sure enough, everything worked. Not a problem. So I knew it wasn't either serial port, either the prolific or this one that's got any problem. Data is coming through correctly. Good testing tool. It's kind of like you need to know if a port on a wall is live for a network. Well, just plug a pocket little switch in and see if you get a light connecting, right? If you have link light, you've got a live network cable port. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that the port is correctly wired. It just means it's connecting. But it's a neat trick. So I'm stuck at the moment. I cannot program that Pro Nano in this technique. Now I've got one more pack with another serial to TTL board. So another one of these little blue boards. And I will try it out again with the other board and see what happens. But at this point, I'm not impressed. It's not working very well. So this will be try number 1 at this. So I'll let you go. If you have suggestions, let me know. Maybe I'm just doing something wrong. I don't know. Who knows?